There are moments in television history that go far beyond the bright studio lights, the perfectly pressed suits, and the rehearsed smiles. Moments that remind us that behind every anchor desk, there is a real human being, someone with a family, with fears, with heartbreak, and with hope. March 5th, 2026 was one of those moments. On that Thursday morning, Savannah Guthrie, one of the most recognizable faces in American morning television, quietly walked back into Studio 1A at Rockefeller Center in New York City. She wasn't there to read the news. She wasn't there to sit at the anchor desk. She was there to hug her people, to look them in the eyes, to let them know she was still standing. It had been more than a month since she had last set foot in that building, a month that had felt like a lifetime, a month filled with terror, sleepless nights, tearful pleadings on social media, and a desperate, agonizing search across the desert of Tucson, Arizona, all for her mother, Nancy Guthrie, who vanished without a trace on the evening of January 31st, 2026. This is the story of Savannah Guthrie, her extraordinary life, her unbreakable bond with her mother, the nightmare that brought America's mourning to a standstill, and the deeply emotional reunion that reminded the world why the Today Show has been a staple of American homes for decades. Part 1. The woman behind the anchor desk. A life that began on the other side of the world. To understand Savannah Guthrie, you have to start at the very beginning. And that beginning is not where you might expect. Savannah Clark Guthrie was born on December 27, 1971, in Melbourne, Australia. Her father, Charles Guthrie, was a mining engineer, and the family had relocated to Australia for his work. When Savannah was just 2 years old, the family returned to the United States, eventually settling in Tucson, Arizona, a city that would play a central and deeply personal role in her life for decades to come. Growing up as the youngest of 3 children, Savannah had a childhood marked by warmth, curiosity, and family closeness. She had an older brother named Cameron and an older sister named Annie. The Guthrie children grew up in a household that valued learning, conversation, and community. Savannah learned to play tennis and piano as a child, 2 activities that would remain part of her personality well into adulthood. Her mother, Nancy Guthrie, was the quiet engine of the family. A stay-at-home mom for much of Savannah's early childhood, Nancy was known as someone who was quick and smart, well-read, and curious about everything. She was the kind of mother who paid attention, who listened, who showed up, and who made her children feel seen. The loss that changed everything. When Savannah was 16 years old, her world was shattered. Her father, Charles, died suddenly of a heart attack. The loss was devastating, not just emotionally, but structurally. The Guthrie family was unmoored. Their center was gone. Savannah has spoken about this loss with remarkable honesty over the years. She once told People magazine, "The loss of my father was shocking and devastating. It cracked open our family and crushed us. He was our center. We just idealized him and adored him. He was larger than life, funny, charming, and adorable. His loss was so sudden and so shocking." In another candid interview, she reflected, "There's before my dad died and there's after my dad died. And it's profound." She has also said that she believes losing her father so young may have fundamentally altered the direction of her life, that she might have been a completely different person had he survived. In the wake of her father's death, Nancy Guthrie returned to work to support her family, taking a position as a clerk at the University of Arizona. The bond between Savannah and her mother deepened profoundly during this period. When Savannah went to college at the University of Arizona, she chose to live at home, not because she had to, but because she and her sister didn't want to leave their mom alone. That closeness, that fierce, devoted mother-daughter connection would define both women's lives for the next 4 decades, and it would ultimately become the center of one of the most heartbreaking stories in modern American journalism, from Tucson to the world stage. Savannah's journey to the anchor desk at 30 Rockefeller Plaza was anything but straightforward. After graduating cum laude from the University of Arizona in 1993 with a degree in journalism, she took her first television job at KTVM, the NBC affiliate in Butte, Montana. The start was rough. On her 10th day at the station, the entire local news operation was shut down. It was not the beginning anyone would script. Undeterred, she found work at KMIZ, an ABC affiliate in Columbia, Missouri, where she worked for 2 years. From there, she returned to her home state of Arizona and took a job at KVOA, the NBC affiliate in Tucson. For 5 years, she worked in Arizona television, growing her craft and building her confidence, but always feeling a pull towards something bigger. Around 1999, Savannah made a decision that surprised many people in her life. She left television entirely to pursue a law degree at Georgetown University Law Center in Washington, D.C. It was a bold gamble. It was a gamble to quit this television career and start a new path and go to law school full-time, because I wasn't sure I was done with TV, she later admitted. On the other hand, I felt like it was worth the risk. The gamble paid off spectacularly. Not only did she graduate magna cum laude from Georgetown in 2002, but she also scored first place on the Arizona bar exam. She was accepted for a prestigious clerkship on the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. But she turned it down. The pull of journalism was simply too strong. After a brief stint at the Washington law firm of Aiken Gump, Strauss Hauer and Feld, she returned to her first love. In 2004, she became a national trial correspondent for Court TV, covering high-profile legal proceedings, including the Martha Stewart case, the Michael Jackson trial, and the Senate confirmation hearings of Supreme Court nominee Samuel Alito. In September 2007, she made the move that would define her career. She joined NBC News as a legal analyst and correspondent. Within a year, she was named the White House correspondent for NBC News, one of the most prestigious assignments in all of American broadcast journalism. She covered the 2008 presidential election, traveling with the Sarah Palin vice presidential campaign, and their team won an Emmy for their election night coverage that year. By 2010, she was co-anchoring the Daily Rundown on MSNBC alongside Chuck Todd, and in June 2011, she joined the Today Show as co-host of its third hour and the show's chief legal correspondent. The moment that would cement Savannah Guthrie's place in television history came in July 2012. Ann Curry, who had been the co-anchor of the Today Show alongside the long-tenured Matt Lauer, departed the show under difficult circumstances. Savannah was named her replacement, becoming the co-anchor of one of the most watched morning programs in America. On her first day at the main anchor desk, Matt Lauer gave her an enthusiastic welcome, telling the audience she had a great attitude and a weird sense of humor. The audience seemed to agree. Savannah brought a unique combination of journalistic rigor, legal expertise, warmth, and genuine humor to the role. She interviewed presidents and prime ministers. She sat down with Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Donald Trump, and Boris Johnson. She covered breaking news with precision and interviewed celebrities with charm. In November 2017, her life at the Today Show changed dramatically when her longtime co-anchor Matt Lauer was fired by NBC following allegations of sexual misconduct. It fell to Savannah to deliver the news of Lauer's termination to the Today audience live on air, an extraordinarily difficult moment that she handled with grace, composure, and unmistakable sadness. From 2018 onward, Savannah anchored Today with Hoda Kotb, and the two women developed an on-air chemistry and genuine friendship that audiences loved. In early 2025, when Hoda Kotb retired from her full-time role at Today, Craig Melvin stepped in as Savannah's new co-anchor. Today remained one of the top-rated morning programs in the country, generating nearly $205.5 million in advertising revenue in 2025 alone. By January 2026, Savannah Guthrie had been a part of the Today family for nearly 15 years. She was, by any measure, one of the most trusted and beloved journalists in American television. And then, on the evening of January 31st, 2026, everything stopped. Part 2. The nightmare begins. The night Nancy disappeared. Nancy was last seen by her family at approximately 9:30 p.m. on the evening of January 31st, 2026, at her home in Tucson, Arizona. She was 84 years old. She had a heart condition. She was without her medications, and within hours, she would be gone. The following morning, February 1st, a concerned friend noticed that Nancy hadn't shown up for her regular Sunday church service. Alarmed, the friend reached out to Nancy's children, Savannah's siblings, Cameron and Annie, who were close.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.